No, thank you so much. You'll get an opportunity to hear from me on the panel, but I just thought it is really helpful to come up stage and welcome you all and dispense with all the protocols at the start. And also thank you all for coming and thank the team that has worked tirelessly over the last year to pull this together. It says you're only as good as your collaborators and the team that you work with. And I think our partners and our teams that have brought this vision together really deserve our gratitude. I don't know about you, but for me, I'm always really gratified and inspired when a good plan for people and planet comes together. And I wouldn't call it unusual marriage between GIPS, Nelson Mandela Foundation, the United Nations, and TEDx to bring this vision to life is something that I find really fulfilling. Just like I find the 17 goals fulfilling. The 17 global goals, the Sustainable Development Goals, replacing the Millennium Development Goals, really was a plan conceived more than 9 years ago and adopted through an extensive process that I think is inspiring for what we're trying to achieve for people and planet, but it also means that we need to do everything to course correct because we're off track. 9 years in, only 17% of our targets are being achieved. 50% marginal progress. A third of our targets regressing. So I hope by coming together today, we find the inspiration to want to do better and to do more. And the 17 speakers you will hear, inspiring change makers. And I think, for me, that's the vision. As Madiba said, it is in our hands to create a better world. And so we have a collective responsibility. It's not about the UN. It is not about governments on their own. It is not about private sector on its own. It is about us as individuals, and every little bit counts. We need to course correct. We have 5.5 years ahead till 2030. We need to ensure that we break down the silos between the 17 goals. They're all interrelated. Progress on health impacts progress on inequalities. Progress on climate-smart agriculture and nutrition impacts everything we want to do in terms of combating climate change. Progress on energy transitions ensures that we have inclusive economies that do not further harm the planet. So there's a multitude of things that really we can do to reinforce what we're trying to achieve. And there are transitions that we need to accelerate. So you will, over the course of today, hear a lot about that. But I don't think you really came to hear from me. You came to be inspired. And what a wonderful way to have started with Kirsty. So remain glued to your seats and enjoy the talks. But most importantly, when you leave this room, and also those who will be watching the talks, be inspired to act for people and planet. And on this day, which is Mandela Day, typically there's a message from the UN Secretary General, which will be circulated. But the gist of the message really is about the wonderful, enduring legacy of Madiba and how he lived a life that should inspire us all to do better and to embrace that collective and individual responsibility we all have to play our part. And I think, for me, that's something that not only keeps me up awake at night, but inspires me to want to do better. And I hope the fact that you're all here today is because you're part of this vision of creating a better world and wanting to do better. So the United Nations family, in its entirety, thanks you for being here. I have colleagues who are in the room, leadership from the UN country team that contributed to pulling this together. Shortly, you will also be hearing from someone referred to as the mother of the SDGs, the Deputy Secretary General, who also supports this effort, even though she's not here in person. And thank you, and we'll see you soon on the panel and through the talks. Welcome and enjoy the show.